and welcome. This is NewsX Hot Mic. You're watching me, Megha Sharma, and with me is T.S. Singh Deo. He is the former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. Thank you so much, Mr. Deo, for joining me on the telecast. And my first question to you, of course, about your health, sir. How is your family doing right now?
She's undergoing chemotherapy. We hope to have good results. We have good doctors here looking after her. So we are hopeful.
That's heartening to know, encouraging to know, sir. And moving on to, of course, the Lok Sabha elections, the political turmoil that we are witnessing in our country right now. Now, of course, the big question about you losing out in Ambikapur by 94 votes. Now, have you had a chance to examine what went wrong?
Well, apparently I didn't measure up to the expectation of the people. That is the only reason why somebody should lose. Frankly, I didn't expect to lose. I was expecting a lower margin this time for various reasons. COVID was there, which kept me out. When you're not in touch with the constituency, it matters. There was not all well between us in Chhattisgarh, in the leadership, in the government. So I'm sure that has counted. Basically, rather than putting it at anybody else's doorstep, it is my responsibility to have been able to measure up to the people.
Were you also keen on contesting the Lok Sabha election this time?
Not really, because we don't have a constituency. Our constituency is reserved. And I had made no attempt to reach out or survey or ask the people of another constituency whether they would accept me. And I am not at all comfortable. I don't fight an election without taking the consent of the workers or the seniors in that area. So I had not contacted anyone. I had been asked by seniors. Mr. Charandas Mahant, he had asked me whether I'd like to contest from Korba. Then he had also asked me about Bilaspur. But I told him that I am not in touch with the people in that depth, and I need to take their consent. And I don't see myself as a suitable candidate. There are other reasons also. Now, currently, of course, my family's medical condition. So there was no condition in which I could have really fought this time.
Okay. At this time, the Congress second list of contenders has been released. Are you satisfied with the ticket distribution in your home state, Chhattisgarh?
I think so. Maybe a little tweak here and there, but then those things will always be there. But I think Bhupesh Baghel, he'll be winning from Rajnandgaon. We have a new person from Durg, Rajendra Sahu. So he has been around. He has contested the mayor's election earlier. So he'll find it tough in that constituency. It's a tough constituency. Raipur, again, it's a tough constituency for the Congress. Both these constituencies we lost by over 3,000. So youngsters are fighting. Rajendra is also, Rajesh is reasonably young. Vikas Upadhyay from Raipur is reasonably young. Tamradhar Sahuji is contesting from Mahasamud. He's been minister in charge for that area. He's the leader of the Sahu community. We hope he does well. Then Shiv Kumar Deheria ji is a senior Satnami scheduled caste leader of Chhattisgarh, though he lost his Vidhan Sabha election surprisingly. But he's a senior leader and a very active person. So he's contesting from Champa Jangir, a Lok Sabha seat where we won all the 8 MLA constituencies in the past election. So you have a very good chance there too. I think those are the seats which have been announced.
Speaking about Rajnandgaon,
Korba.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Korba, Charandas Mahanji, his wife, in fact, she's a leader in her own right too. So she has been given repeated in the Korba constituency.
Okay.
We have good candidates.
Okay. You're talking about Rajnandgaon. Of course, this is called the Bastion of the ex-chief minister and Congress leader in Chhattisgarh, Raman Singh. Or is there some strategy that is being used by the Congress and particularly Bhupesh Baghel to this time win this seat?
For one, the incumbent sitting BJP member of parliament, he hasn't done too well. So that's a negative. We should not be counting on just that. Then, like you said, it has been the bastion of Raman Singh ji. He has won the MLA election also from Rajnandgaon MLA constituency by a large margin, about 40,000 votes. And Kavardha district has two MLA segments. There they have appointed, surprisingly, a first-time MLA as the Deputy Chief Minister. So Mr. Sharma also is a fighter. So whether they'll be able to pull these votes, continue to mobilize these votes for the BJP, get as many votes as they had got in their elections for another candidate who hasn't done too well in the last 5 years. That is to be seen. And Congress has been able to win 5 of these constituencies of the 8 MLA constituencies in this segment.
Okay.
So we have been able to win Kavardha, Dongargarh, Dongargaon, Fuji, Mohalla Manpur. We'll do well. Hopefully, we'll be doing well in these constituencies. Okay. But we need to be alert.
Okay. Talking about the national picture and the Congress and its, at this point of time, stake in the India alliance, do you think Rahul Gandhi has what it takes to be the Prime Minister of the country?
As far as ideas are concerned and his commitment to the country are concerned, there cannot be any doubt. For me, he is an idealist more than a politician. And if we can call that a weakness, that is the only weakness I see in his chink, that he's a very nice person. He has far-reaching ideas. He has a vision for the country. He has a vision for the people. He has great sensitivity for those who lose out, no matter which category, which caste, which region they are in. For those who are behind in the social ladder, in the economic ladder, in their well-being, he has a great sensitivity towards them. So a person with vision, a person with commitment, a person with guts, raw guts and courage. Not only that he's a taekwondo or karate expert, that's another matter, but he has guts and he has a vision. I think he is a very good candidate for a possible Prime Minister for this country.
Okay. What do you think of the government switch that has taken place in the last 48 hours in Haryana?
It brings out what is going on inside. You see, what is happening in the BJP is that they are pushing people from outside the organization. Congress, it is said, is a mass-based party. It is a leader-based party. Groups of leaders come together under the Congress ideology, and that is the Congress, let us say. It has a history. It has done a lot of things in the past. It has a vision for the future. The BJP, like the Communist Party, is seen as a cadre-based party. And they have been developing this cadre and growing on the basis of this cadre. Suddenly, they are, stretching out hands and grabbing somebody from here, grabbing somebody from there. And it is leading to a lot of discontent. I can tell you this, it is their internal matter, but as honest an analyst as I can be, being a member of the Congress Party, I can see, not just sense, I can see and I know that a lot of people in the Bharatiya Janata Party are very unhappy with what is happening. So they have trouble, internal trouble, which they are able to cover up. Which is not visible. And all this that we are seeing happening is part of that.
But don't you think that the Haryana government that has once again been formed by the BJP, this time around there is no coalition, JJP has been sidelined. Is this not a big boost for BJP ahead of the Lok Sabha elections? Mind you, there are assembly elections that are also going to take place in Haryana in November.
Yes, you will see the difference. You will see the difference this time. Congress was on the verge of winning the last election. We probably didn't get our internal arithmetic and coming together as well as we should have got. That is the biggest weakness I have seen in the Congress Party. We need to be able to come together when election time comes. And this time there has been a lot of effort to see that that comes about. There's a lot of disgruntlement amongst the people. We, from a little far away, we have people we know, we have people we are in touch with. We are not from Haryana, so we don't know what is happening exactly on the grassroots level. But we do hear, and these reports add up when we test them from time to time. And people have been saying that things are not all well in Haryana. People are not happy.
Okay.
So that is why a person like Mr. Khattar was changed. Somebody who's ridden a two-wheeler with Mr. Modi. If he's been changed, there must be some very major reason.
Okay. Okay, all right. Now, talking about the Citizenship Amendment Act, your party has been extremely critical of it. Is this a sign of Congress showing opportunism over the real-life tragedies of the persecuted minority refugees in India?
Meghaji, what is the issue? What have we done with the Citizenship Amendment Act? We have said that 3 countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, 6 minority communities, which are minority, 5 of them are minority communities in our country too, and Hindus from these 3 countries, because they are minorities there.
Yes.
We are going to provide them with citizenship. And if you see the fact sheet which the Home Department had put up, 12-pointer fact sheet, and which it has apparently pulled down. What does it say? It says that the Muslims throughout the world are welcome to become citizens of India. They can apply under the Citizenship Act, and they'll be given citizenship through due process. So what was the need to sort of certain denominations in just 3 countries? You could have very well given them citizenship in the Citizenship Act that prevailed. What prevented you from giving them, you had already given them visas, you had given them extended visas, they were living in the country, the process of naturalization was already there. So what prevented you from making them citizens of the country if you felt that for whatever reason they should be naturalized, they should be accepted as citizens? Why take in this religious aspect? It rebels, it goes against the very texture of the constitution of our country, which does not have place for any religion. Why was reservation for Muslims struck down by the Supreme Court? Because we don't go for reservation in jobs on the basis of religion. So that is the ethos of our country: independent India, democratic India, constitutional India. That is the reason.
Okay, but don't you
think... And
think...
of course, play with politics.
Yeah, but when we talk about the persecution of the minorities, including Hindus and Sikhs and Jains and Buddhists and Christians, and we take a look at the demographics in all these countries, Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, these are the communities who have been persecuted. Their populations have dwindled to alarming rates, and the action being taken by the government in this regard, that their citizenship into India gets hastened up. Why would political parties have resentment, have opposition to this?
Why could you not hasten up the number of years required to be a part-time or a residing citizen before naturalization from 11 years to 7 years or 5 years in the old act itself? What prevented you from doing that? What prevents you from making, like the Home Department has put out, all Muslims throughout the world are welcome to be citizens of the country. If they make applications, then they are found acceptable, they are found suitable.
Okay.
So why are we not seeing minorities within a Muslim state where Sunnis and Shias and other minorities within a particular religion are fighting with each other, and they're in a very bad way? Why aren't we looking at that? So this is the political game, just another way of trying to whip up sentiment, and very dangerous, because you have tinkered with the basic tenet of our constitution, which makes no provision for any individual on the basis of his religion. Now you have got a very, very objectionable toehold. You caught the finger. What prevents you in the future from pulling in the whole arm? See, it is extremely dangerous. What they have done is extremely dangerous.
Okay, but taking a look at the other side as well, where political parties in the opposition are also playing it up and using it as a political plank, because when we talk about Citizenship Amendment Act, we talk about Indian Muslims. Why is it that political leaders are coming out and saying that the Indian Muslims will be losing out on their citizenship of the country? Because that's not true.
That is not true. If anybody is saying that, they should correct themselves and they should not attempt to create an atmosphere of unnecessary insecurity. That cannot be done. That will not be done.
Okay.
But the other side of the picture is that it is not about persecution of a community in any part of the world. We are just talking about 3 countries at the moment. What prevented you from giving them citizenship if you were seeing them as being persecuted? Under the old Citizenship Act, they've been here for years. I think what I read somewhere was 2014 or before that.
Yes, 2014 and before that. You're not required to provide any documents. You're not are required to give any proofs. So
do that. Do that under the old thing. Why are you targeting a religious community, whether it is a minority or otherwise, if it is going against the basic tenet of your constitution? I am talking beyond and above politics. See, we are tampering with the structure of the constitution. Once you do that, for anything else you say that has been done, so why can't it be done here? It has been done there and there, so why can't it be done here also?
Okay.
So
okay.
They are sneaking in. It's a very, very insidious, very poisonous attempt by people whom we call the RSS and otherwise who influence this sort of a thinking to change the very nature of the constitution. Okay. It is not about being sensitive to the plight of minorities in the country. It is all about the danger that looms over the very nature of the constitution of our country.
Okay. All right. Now, shifting our focus to Mallikarjun Kharge, the AICC president, he has decided, in fact, he has not been fielded to fight the elections from Kalburga. He's also spoken about how he has refrained from doing it because he's 83 years of age. Yes. Now, should there be a political age of retirement across all party lines?
Your physical condition, certainly. Maybe not age, but your physical condition. There certainly should be thinking along those lines. There certainly should be change of guard. We have a country which is on an average 28 years old. So the youngsters are pushing. The generation next, you all are pushing. You want your rightful place on merit. So those who are there, if they are physically fit, why not? Why not at even 80, 85 if you're physically fit? But if you feel that you will not be able to do justice to the constituency, if your physical condition does not allow you, then you should certainly opt out. You should make way for the next generation.
Okay. Okay. Now, Congress has also been very critical over the electoral bonds. Truth be told, there is no party, including the Congress, that makes public information about donations. So, why is that then a contention point when the Congress is in opposition?
One thing in this is, which can apply even if there is no electoral bond, that the government in place will always have that advantage, whether it is quid pro quo or whether it is being able to give benefits or whether it is a situation where you could let off somebody more lightly in cases which are pending, IT cases, ED cases, CBI cases, you take a donation, that is extremely objectionable. And it is not only morally wrong, it is a corrupt practice. You're taking money from somebody whose case is pending. Neither should that person be making such donations, nor should any party be taking such donations, and particularly the party in power, who may be seen to be in a position to maybe possibly benefit that person. Those are the objections. And then when you make it non-traceable, that who is coming and who is giving money, then it gives rise to this sort of an imbalance, where a large amount of this 16,000 crores has gone to the party in power. That is currently the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tomorrow there's another party. They'll get a disproportionate share of such donations. If people are to donate, you probably, some people are talking about making a pool, which is with the Election Commission or some body, and it gives out money to parties on the proportion of the votes they have polled in the last election. Some such thing would probably be more fair. If you have any system of collecting money, then whoever is in power, they'll have an upper hand. They'll have an unfair.
Okay, all right. Now, irrespective of whether it is the BJP or the Congress or any other political party, like you said, there is going to be an upper hand of the government, of the dispensation that is ruling the country at that very moment. Now, okay, all right. Quickly shifting our focus to how there's a second wave of political leaders in the Congress who have left the Congress and joined other political parties, whether it is the BJP or the Shiv Sena. Particularly talking about Ashok Chavan, who has been a Congress veteran, a Congress loyalist. We talk about Milind Deora. Why do you think there are more and more people from the Congress leaving the Congress? They have been important members that have laid the foundation of the Congress, and they themselves are leaving the party and joining the BJP.
Sad to say, one could be opportunism. Secondly, we could then mention the ED, IT or whatever. And thirdly, it's a coming and going. It's a very unhealthy coming and going. Some senior leader from Haryana, we were talking about Haryana earlier, he has joined the Congress. So he was in the Congress, he went to the BJP, he's come back to the Congress. So it's coming and going. I'm not at all comfortable with this, no matter who it is or which party it is. It is very, very unhealthy. It doesn't speak much about that person, I'm sorry to say.
Okay. Then the next question that I would like to know from you is, has anybody reached out to you, or have you had any thought of switching from the Congress to any other political party?
This has been put up to me a number of times, particularly before the last election. And when there was talk in the media about my being possibly be given the responsibility of the Chief Minister in Chhattisgarh, and it was not coming about. I am very clear. So long as I'm in politics, I'll be with the Congress party. If I have nothing to contribute to the party, or the party doesn't see anything in me, I'll be relaxing. There's more of the world I'd like to see, lot of things I'd like to do. Not join any other party. That won't be me. I can't speak for my family members, but I will not join any other party.
Now, do you feel that the Congress has now given up on its presidential bastions, which are Amethi and Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh?
Have the seats been announced? I don't think so.
Well, Amethi is going to be fought by Rahul Gandhi. There are rumors that Raebareli may be fought by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra.
It would depend on both, because they would be applicants. The organization, as far as I know, has already put it on record that they would like them to contest. Whether they would like to contest, that is the other question. They are certainly very suitable candidates, best candidates for those two seats.
Okay, but then there have been successive losses that Rahul Gandhi has had to face in Amethi.
One loss, I think, not successive.
Yeah.
He has lost once. And who has not lost? There would be very few people who had not lost. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji lost, Indira Gandhi ji lost, talking about the topmost leadership of the country. They have lost and they have come back. So there's no reason why Rahul ji, and his margin was not substantial, about 50 or 55,000 votes, I think. That's hardly anything in a Lok Sabha election. Okay.
Okay. Now, why has the India bloc not really worked out with Mamata Banerjee? We talk about, of course, what is happening in Punjab, where the Aam Aadmi Party has not given any tickets to the Congress. There has, of course, been several other political parties within the India Alliance that have not come together, have not shared the seat-sharing pact with the Congress.
I think what has worked out, the difficulties that lay in this path were that almost all these parties would be fighting against each other in the state elections. So it was very difficult with the cadre of both the parties standing face to face with each other to now come together and fight Lok Sabha elections together. It is the perception, the valid perception that the country today is threatened on various fronts, whether it is the border, whether it is internal, whether it is constitutional, whether it is federal, on many fronts, whether it is the perceived freedom of speech or the freedom of expression. Lot of things are being challenged. The use, misuse, beyond there is compared to earlier times that CBI was mentioned by the Supreme Court as a parrot to caged parrot. So a lot of things which have been happening, things are worse than I have ever seen them in my lifetime. So those are the situations which have got these parties to think about coming together. And where you see them not coming together in, let us say, Punjab, you mentioned Aam Aadmi Party. There the BJP is not seen as a threat. In Kerala, BJP doesn't have a seat. So whoever wins when they fight against each other, it will be either of them who are there in the India Alliance and they just want to sort of get more of their seats, make more of their presence in the Lok Sabha. Otherwise, they'll be together as the India bloc in the Lok Sabha. I am sure of that. Mamta ji's case has been unfortunate. I think attempts are still being made. I hear. I've been in touch with some people in West Bengal. There are murmurs. But again, the same thing. That what is seen is that it will not disturb the number of people who will be coming to the parliament and would be with the India Alliance.
What, according to you, is a good and achievable performance by Congress in the Lok Sabha election?
Achievable 100 plus, 100 to 150. I would be satisfied. All
right. And
we are coming out with a good manifesto. We have some announcements have been made by our senior most leaders. Kharge ji, Rahul ji, they made certain announcements. And what we see for the country in the times to come, the manifesto will reflect that. And I hope people will realize what is prevailing in the country, what can happen in the immediate future, and what are the alternatives.
Shifting our focus to the appointment of the election commissioners, should our judiciary be interfering in that?
It is not a matter of interfering. It is a matter of making it not only appear, but also to be balanced, fair. Now we have the Prime Minister and a member of his cabinet being a part of appointment of an election commissioner who will be conducting the elections, supposedly free and fair. No, it is not like appointing a secretary to the government or a principal secretary to the government. It is not about that. This is the election commission, which is to be completely independent. So what the tradition was, you have two people who would balance each other out as from the government and from the opposition, and one neutral guy, one neutral person, so that the decision of a body which is to be fair and unbiased and under no influence or least possible influence, that those persons should be able to get a chance. Here you skewed the thing entirely. Two people from the government, from the sitting government, Prime Minister and a minister of his cabinet, they are going to take the decision. It could have been a retired judge, it could have been anybody with a standing of complete integrity.
Of course, the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha is also going to be present, and his decision will be part of the overall consensus that is going to come out from the Prime Minister's side.
If there is a consensus, otherwise clearly 2-1. Suppose he is not agreeable, will that person become or not become? Does he have a veto? He doesn't have a veto. So that is why the earlier system was much, much better, and it should be like that. How do you see an independent election commissioner functioning? A person who will be appointed by the Prime Minister and his minister. See, a minister.
But this is how the constitution is built. This is what the law is. This has been going on for the past several years now. We are in the 75th year of our independence, and talking about how the past elections have been held, sir, there have been a couple of instances where there was only one individual in the election commission, the chief election commissioner, under whom the elections were conducted and the results were brought out.
what has been happening is that over the years, people talk about Mr. Seshan. They remember Mr. Seshan. They were appointed by a system, and he was seen to be standing up against that system on many occasions. Is that happening today? There's a buckling down. The backbone of the country somehow seems to have weakened. We are not able to stand up to rules and norms and traditions and morality and what should be done, what is right, what is good for the country. We seem to be losing that.
Okay.
And under those
there have been several times where the opposition parties, including the Congress, have raised about how tinkering with the votes, how there has been rigging of the votes, but at the same time, when the Congress has won the elections, they do not raise the same points. Now, is this Congress being partial to the mandate that comes in their favor?
It is a matter of the technology. We had the election of the President of America, where it was very seriously debated that Russia influenced that election when Hillary Clinton and Mr. Trump were contesting. It was a serious discussion at the international level. No, it was not something which was just, out of the box, somebody saying something just for the sake of politics. And how many countries in the world today are continuing with this system? Is America having this? They have a ballot which comes out and it is put in a box and both are counted. Canada, Great Britain, Germany, Japan, technologically very advanced states. So why are they not doing it?
Okay.
There must be some reason. So when it is questioned today.
So again, my same question to you, sir. If Karnataka has been won by the Congress, is there going to be a doubt over here, a speculation that there may have been rigging involved and Congress would have won the election? That's exactly why the Congress had won the election.
This is what is thrown at us. You see the other side. You see Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh, entire media in the country, every pollster in the country gave it to the Congress. So what happened? Every pollster in the country gave a fight in Madhya Pradesh. What happened? 160 plus and 60. From 100, 110, 90, 120, 110. Those were the poll figures. So when things like this happen, why can it not be selective if it can be done? Okay, we won't interfere in the states, but we'll do something when the national election comes. You can give one logic, you can give another logic. There is no proof. There is a uncertainty which has crept into the minds of the people. People are calling me from villages and saying, Baba, abki election usi se hoga kya machine se, wo machine mein to garbad. So this is the perception which has seeped down.
Okay.
To the remotest village in my constituency.
Before the machines came and took over the election process in our country, there was obviously the ballot voting that used to take place, and it was replete with all the problems. Like I said, poll rigging. There were these the vote boxes that used to be taken over. They used to be seized by these goons on the ground, and of course all these developments used to come on a frequent basis when the elections, state or assembly or national elections talk about. So how can the election commission guarantee that the elections in the country are fair if the contention that you are posing is that the ballot boxes are better than the machines?
Megha ji, how does the mode of casting your vote affect the law and order situation? For one, it was not as if there was rampant booth capturing, etc. It was there in places. So what prevents you from capturing a booth if a machine is kept? If we talk about goons who used to, and it did come around, there were goons who would go around and capture a booth and, stamp the ballot papers. So what prevents goons today from going and pressing the button of the voting machine?
Okay.
The same election commission machinery used to be sitting there. The same polling officers used to be sitting there. The same police constabulary used to be present there. So what is the difference? So that is not really logical. Okay,
all right. On that note, I come to an end of this interview. Thank you, Mr. Deo, for joining me on the telecast on NewsX. And you talk about everything under the sun about politics. and it comes for an interesting development in wake of what all is going to happen on the anvil, keeping in mind the Lok Sabha election.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.